2 years ago, I interviewed Kanye West on Uncensored after he'd made global headlines for anti-Semitic outbursts. Most outrageously, he tweeted that he wanted to go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. It was a heated interview. It was a long interview. I held him to account. I told him his remarks were offensive. He'd caused many people a lot of pain. And he gave me some back, of course. He called me a Karen. Fair enough, I can take it. At least we had a mostly grown-up conversation. These constant tirades, against Jewish...
display of defiance, Kanye West stormed out of his latest interview with Piers Morgan, leaving viewers stunned. This was not just a simple walkout. It was a clear message against accountability. The elite are watching, and the manipulation of narratives continues. What does this mean for free speech and the responsibility that comes with it?
People...
Have you felt my pain yet? You haven't felt my pain.
You
don't want to feel my pain.
Well, no,
you don't hold You don't hold accountability to my pain. You're being a Karen.
Do you believe that you have any form of mental illness?
I believe that I suffered.
This is a dangerous attitude. Kanye dismisses legitimate concerns about his statements, revealing how the elite manipulate public discourse. When high-profile figures evade accountability, they perpetuate harmful ideologies. It's a tactic to divert attention from their actions, and it's time we call it out.
From exhaustion. I believe that I suffered from exhaustion. I suffered from being lied to constantly by the people around me, by my management, by my ex-wife.
Do you still love Kim?
I absolutely I'll love her for life.
That interview lasted 2 hours in the end. We covered a lot of ground. There were moments of tension and moments, I think, of mutual understanding. Yeah, he got up and walked off at one point, but he had to think about what he wanted to say, and then he came back and he said it.
And we'll have the top lawyers like a Johnny Cochran, Robert Kardashian level legal team, looking at all of these contracts together. After that moment happens, then I will say, I'm sorry.
Okay, if that's your position,
that's clear. Interview adjourned.
A manipulative power play. Piers Morgan's attempt to guide the conversation is met with Kanye's evasiveness. This dynamic showcases how elite figures often dodge responsibility while the media plays along. The public is left confused, and the real issues slip through the cracks.
Love you.
Yeah, thanks for sitting back down. I'll change the subject now. Obviously, I have no idea what's going on in this guy's head, and he's unquestionably a genius artist with a global fan base and massive talent. He's lived most of his life under the microscope of intense fame, and that pressure alone can make people behave very oddly. Back then, I was trying to understand if Ye had any regret or remorse for what could have been a relatively isolated incident or some kind of episode. I wanted to know if he understood there are consequences for his words and whether he was genuinely a racist. What we now know is just the tip of the iceberg. As far as the watching public is concerned, Ye has spiraled in both his personal life and his business life. Most recently, he's taken to posting endless, outrageous anti-Semitic slurs on X. He frequently professes his great love for Adolf Hitler. He poses in swastikas and KKK costumes. He says things like Jews were better as slaves and they should be whipped. We all know this because X has allowed him to carry on doing it to his 33 million followers. I've argued for a long time his account should be shut down. It should be stopped. That's my opinion. I believe passionately in free speech and I detest censorship because I believe in the importance of sharing honestly held opinions in a democracy. But posting endless, vile, anti-Semitic insults, encouraging violence against Jewish people in these unhinged tirades on a privately owned platform has got nothing to do with free speech. I invited him back onto Uncensored because at least on my show, I can call him out for what he's been doing and put myself in between the 33 million followers who see his posts without any challenge whatsoever. Our producer spotted that he was in Spain with his friend Sneeko, and we invited both of them on for an interview. They very quickly agreed, and Sneeko spent several days talking about it, but they mucked us around, a significant expense, both in time and money, to me, my crew in Spain, and my team here in London. More importantly, he didn't turn up yesterday and said wanted to do it today. So it seemed to me then it might all just be a stunt. But I went ahead and said, okay, We'll have another go today. Ye told Sneeko not to be offended if he stormed off very shortly before today's interview started. You can judge for yourself how it went and whether Ye has any respect or, frankly, any marbles. I'm not a shrink. But if you're so delusional or fragile you don't expect a journalist to ask you questions about your publicly stated love of Hitler, you should probably talk to somebody other than me. What followed, frankly, was a farce.
I'm getting you multi-tracks right now. I'm about to step in this interview, but I can hop back on in about whenever it's done. That nuance right there, it's idiotic. It just shows the hate that you put out for people that put love. There's so much love in the art that I put out.
With all due respect, what are you talking about?
We have to admit this is somewhat entertaining. You know, this is going to be laughed at by many people. It's not what I expected,
what's entertaining?
But that was funny.
Kanye West is rarely out of the headlines at the moment. It's fair to say the headlines are equally rarely positive. The rapper, producer, and fashion designer is currently working on a new album. Several new tracks were previewed on a recent live stream with his friend Sneeko. And both Sneeko and Ye join me now. Well, welcome to Uncensored. Ye, we haven't spoken for a while. How are you?
I'm doing good. I don't use the term West, you know, the whole drop the slave name idea.
Okay, so we just call you Ye, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, look, when I last interviewed, we had a long conversation. And since then, a lot has happened in your life. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity to try and talk to you about some of this. How would you say your life is at the moment?
I mean, you see that view?
Yeah. Your life is good?
Well, judge it on the view as the answer to how my life is. Judge me by the view.
Well, the view is Mallorca. I've been there. It's a beautiful place. And for all intents and purposes, you seem very relaxed and happy. That is in direct contrast to your public image at the moment over the last couple of years, led by your ferocious... Well, hang on, let me finish the question. Led by your ferocious use of...
No, but I already disagree. It's not in contrast. There's so many people and artists that are championing the idea of someone being able to just express who they really are and have been able to go through the war of being attacked by the banks, being attacked, you know, by the banks. That's the best way to put it, being attacked by the banks and to still be here with this view is, you know, that's the win. So I think I'm in contrast to your contrast. Okay,
but the point I was going to make is that I watch what you put out on X. You've got 32 million followers, so you're one of the most followed people.
See, wait. Now look right now. You're not gonna take inches off my dick, bro. Like, how many followers do I have?
Well, how many is it?
I think you could do the study. You got a whole staff over there.
I thought it was 32 million. How many is it? You obviously know.
I mean, no. I mean, don't help them out. You know they.
I'm told it's 33 million now. So congratulations. You're slightly bigger following than I thought.
No, congratulations. Your information is correct. You're not just some, you know, dude trying to sub. You know, I'm a gift, bro. You know what I mean? Why do all you people in media act like you haven't played my songs at your weddings or graduations or at funerals or when your child was born? You know, you take somebody that's living like a Lennon, a Michael Jackson, and you just take all this time to just, like, that nuance right there, it's idiotic. It just shows the hate that you put out for people that put love. There's so much love in the art that I put out.
With all due respect, what are you talking about? I haven't said anything.
What are you talking about? It's 30. Okay, now you're not taking accountability or responsibility.
Literally, you said it. You implied I haven't played your music. Of course I played your music.
No, sir. This is what you get for now. We can circle back when you can count.
Okay. Where's he gone, Sneeko?
That's it for Ye. But it's nice to meet you, Piers.
Where's he gone?
I think he's going back to work. There's several things he's working on. I was not aware he was going to leave like this, but it seems like he got upset about the.
So it's all just a game, is it? Is that the idea?
Followers. I mean, life is a video game, is it?
No, I just wondered what the point of this exercise was. Was he supposed to do an interview or not?
Are you supposed to do an interview? But I mean, the amount of Twitter followers, something like that, it's patronizing for no reason. You said his name incorrectly. You know his name is Ye. This is very public about that. Hopefully we could do it. I think this was good. We were prepared for a good interview. But come on, you know what you were doing.
What do you think I'm doing?
I think you were trying to patronize very intentionally by getting those two things, under his skin. Maybe it could have been about past interviews or because of what happened yesterday. But, I mean, this information is not that difficult to get right.
Yeah, we called him Ye, and we got his Twitter following count wrong by 1 million, from 32 to 33 million. Also, for the record, you guys dicked us around yesterday, and you seem to find that very entertaining and amusing in your live stream, which I'm sure you will now. You kept all my crew in Spain and here waiting, and then wasted their time. And then you got us all back now, and you've wasted our time again. And you again may find that funny and entertaining, and that's fine. I don't. I think it's a total waste of everyone's time and effort and money.
Well, I mean, it is. I was ready for the interview yesterday, too. My time is important as well. Regardless if it was wasted, we have to admit this is somewhat entertaining. This is going to be laughed at by many people.
What's entertaining?
That was funny. That's undeniably walking off right into the beginning of an interview is funny.
Yeah? Out of interest,
you were subjective.
Out of interest, what do you do with him?
I'm working on several films right now. I am streaming out here. I'm editing, and I work on things behind the scenes, some inspiration for art. I'm just there to try to help fulfill his vision.
Well, let me ask you the questions I would have asked him. So, I mean, out of interest, what is with his obsession with Hitler? Why is he so rampantly anti-Semitic?
I'm not going to answer questions on his behalf.
Well, you're going to have to, because he's not there. I can't answer questions
on his behalf.
He's not there.
What's that?
He's not there. Literally, he's dropping a track today called Heil Hitler. Why are you happy to be associated with somebody like that, out of interest?
I'm not going to speak on his art and his vision while he's not here.
I'm asking you why you're happy to be associated with somebody who most of the world believes is now a rampant anti-Semite.
Well, you're associated as well. Your show's called Piers Morgan Uncensored.
Yeah.
You tried to get him censored on X. And here you are on the days we're going to release this song doing an interview with him. So we're all involved here. It's not like I'm the only one complicit.
Yeah, the reason I wanted to get him on was because I don't think anyone holds him to account for anything he does on X. And in fact, he deliberately breaches all of X's rules, and yet he does it with impunity and is allowed to do it, whereas millions of other accounts get suspended for far less offences. So I was going to ask him directly, which is why I mentioned his X following. I was going to ask him about what he puts on X and why he does this, why he continually attacks Jewish people, why he continually celebrates Adolf Hitler. And then I'm curious about, given he's not there, can't answer these questions, what your association is with this guy and whether you're comfortable to be associated with somebody who most people consider to be an anti-Semite.
I think I just answered this question. And these are good questions. I think I just answered half.
We haven't answered the question, have you?
But I mean, if I did, you said, "What are you doing out here?" And I said, "I'm doing films and I'm recording behind the scenes and I'm streaming and I'm editing and helping fulfill his vision."
Have you been helping him with the track Heil Hitler?
No, I don't. I'm not a music guy. And if you wanted to get questions about his Twitter or X correct, then you should have got the number of followers correct. That was something intentional that you knew what you were doing.
So I got
the size of his dick wrong.
Is that what you say?
Well, if you know everything else that he's tweeting, you should have got that right as well.
Oh, don't be so pathetic, Sneaker. Honestly, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get good content which will promote you, Sneeko. And I'm just curious how you, Sneeko, deal with the fact that you are so openly associating yourself with somebody who seems to worship Adolf Hitler and is pro the Nazis. Do you feel comfortable about that?
No, we worship God.
He worships Adolf Hitler.
I'm here promoting this. We could talk about how pathetic it is that
Adolf Hitler.
that you were essentially working for Israel up until a couple months ago and
Really?
promoting
When was I
things
working for Israel?
like genocide and not pushing back.
When was I working for Israel?
If it's pathetic to make films behind the scenes of one of the greatest living artists, probably the greatest living artist,
Well, he certainly was.
To point the finger at
he
you
certainly
and say
was
it's pathetic as well.
he was a great artist. Unfortunately, he's become a rampant anti-Semite who adores Adolf Hitler, embraces Nazism, uses swastikas,
I'm pretty sure he says he loves
to
everyone.
sell his
I'm not
merchandise,
gonna speak
and
for
has a
him,
new
but
record out called Heil Hitler. So forgive me if I don't currently
the
see
song is
him
not. I mean,
as one of the
everything you're
world's
saying
great
in this question
artists.
is incorrect.
Yeah, but I don't see
Everything
him.
you're saying in this question is incorrect.
Sorry?
The song isn't out. The song isn't out for one. And two, he says he loves everyone. He says he loves Jews. He says he loves Hitler. He says he loves everybody. But
Really?
this
So when
could
he
be,
says, let me ask you, given you're the one sitting there, he said Jews were better as slaves. You have to put your Jews in their place and make them into your slaves.
This is absolutely unacceptable. Kanye's words are a dangerous manifestation of anti-Semitism, and yet he has a platform that allows this rhetoric to thrive. The elite's failure to address such statements only empowers hate. We must stand against this manipulation of public sentiment and demand accountability.
You then said make your Jews work for you, but watch them as close as you can, whip the Jews. You comfortable with that, Sneaker?
I think I find it funny. That's not something that I would do personally. I don't whip
You think
anybody.
it's funny, do you? Whipping Jews?
Slavery.
Using Jews as slaves? You think that's funny?
I think the context of that is funny, yeah.
What's the
also
humour?
to remove any sense of humor
I'm missing
from
the
that is
humour. What's the
ridiculous.
humour?
I mean, do you want me to break down a joke for you?
You think it's a joke, do you, about whipping Jews?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a joke because I've been here for a couple weeks and he hasn't whipped any Jews.
Really? So because he hasn't actually whipped any yet,
Yeah,
that's a joke.
He really has.
Yeah.
Really has. But Piers, before I leave, I don't want to speak on his behalf. If you're agreeing
What
that
choice
he's
do we
the
have? You
greatest
set
living
this
artist
thing.
right now,
You set this farce up. He's dicked us around. You're the one left, so you're going to have to be accountable for him. Unless you want to walk away too.
accountable? What do you want to hold me accountable?
If you don't want to answer questions either, you are free to stand up and walk away like a little sniveling
Well, you can ask
coward
questions.
too.
If you have questions for me, then I'll feel free to
Here's
answer
my
those.
question
But
for
just
you.
when it comes to Ye,
Why is your mate Ye?
is this whole thing going to be interrupting, or is this whole thing just going to be interrupting? Or do you want me to speak at all?
You're sounding like Andrew Tate Light, like his annoying little younger brother we never knew about. Okay, doesn't work with me. Okay, you set this thing up. It's obviously some kind of elaborate prank.
Okay, your team asked me to do this. If you want to be Netanyahu light on TV,
but given you want to make,
if you want to be Dave Portnoy with the suit,
that's fine.
Then sure. If you want to do ad hominem attacks, then why invite someone on your show? I set this up because your team asked me to do it. I did everything that I could. If I knew that this would, I'm not here wasting your time. You're angry at me for setting up an interview that you wanted. If you have questions for me, I'm happy to answer those.
Here's
if you
my
want
question.
to keep doing insults, there's no point in me being here.
Why did Ye stand up like a sniveling little coward and walk away before I could ask him difficult questions?
For the third time, Piers, I don't know if you have a hearing problem, but I'm not going to answer questions on another man's behalf. But
really?
Thank you for
Even though
having me.
you
If
set
would
up
like
the
to talk
interview with
one-on-one
him.
another time, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
thank
tell
you.
him from me he's a sniveling little coward. And he's an anti-Semite and a Hitler worshipper. That's what I would have asked him if he'd had the balls.
The fallout from Kanye's actions is a stark reminder of how the elite manipulate narratives for their gain. Let's not allow this to be swept under the rug. What are your thoughts on this shocking interview? Is Kanye's behavior a reflection of deeper issues in society? Comment below and let's discuss.